And this isn't a surprise. Any Laker fan out there knows this issue has stared them in the face all year. The team hasn't been good when LeBron James sits. They need someone who can at least be average, keep them afloat when LeBron James has to take...
Okay. All right. So, let's just put things into perspective. We're first. Well, I have seen a video, pop in my recommended called "The Real Reason the Lakers Will Lose at the Orlando Bubble." Yeah. Now, as a Laker prophet, that just upset me. It just upset me because I know that's not true. So I don't really like the slander. So I was like, let me go ahead and react to what he's saying, because I can't just look at the title and assume. Maybe he's trolling. Maybe he's clickbaiting. Hopefully. You know what I mean? Because I just can't fathom this being true. I don't know if this is a Clipper fan or a Celtic fan or somebody, but yeah. I mean, there's a picture of Rondo in the frame with our hurt arm, as if we already covered that. As if that's gonna, he's out for one round of the playoffs. The first round, we're first seed, but that's why we're gonna lose. So let me go ahead and dive into the video and see what this dude is talking about. Before we dive in, just go ahead and subscribe. Just get it over with. I'll wait. Just go ahead and subscribe to join the Splash Squad. I know. Even if you're a Clipper fan, I know. Go ahead and do it. All right. Now let's get started.
The Lakers will lose because Rajon Rondo broke his thumb? That sounds ridiculous. I mean, this isn't 24-year-old playoff Rondo. This is 34-year-old Rondo. Rondo is so old and slow now, he's living up to his turtle nickname.
Is it me, or does Rajon Rondo look like that turtle named Franklin or Nick Jr.?
No, I'm kidding. That's too harsh. The Lakers...
Don't look at me. Y'all watch this. This is don't look at me. Y'all laughed at that. That's on you. Don't look at me.
Lakers won't lose because of Rondo's injury. They were losing anyway. Rondo being out for about 8 weeks just makes their issues even more obvious. In this video, we'll explain why the Lakers were gonna lose anyway and who's to blame. At the end, we'll talk about what the Lakers will probably do to make up for this latest loss. Hey, it's Casey. Welcome to another week of AM Hoops. 5 videos per week, dropping at 5 Eastern. We are so psyched for these games to be...
I need to do that. I like that. I'm not gonna lie, he had the time and everything. That was cool. I like that. Casey, I like that. I need to do that at 5 Eastern. I like that. Do I need to do that? Like, just a couple of videos, always know when it's gonna drop.
Back. Hit subscribe and notification bells because it really helps out the channel. But I want to thank our Patreon subscribers.
Oh my gosh. Let me go to where you start. Okay, here we go.
Back to the Lakers and Rondo. It is ridiculous for Laker fans to be upset that Rondo is hurt. I mean, they've been...
Who was upset? The general consensus on Twitter was everyone was kind of happy that it happened just so that Caruso can shine. Or that Vogel is forced to give his minutes to other people. That was it. And it's only for one round, babe. Nobody was upset. And I promise you, I'm the Laker prophet. I'm telling you this. Do you not believe me? Oh, I need to grab my... Clearly, he just doesn't know. Clearly, he doesn't know what's going on right now.
Been complaining about this guy all year.
That's why we weren't upset. You literally just answered your own question, babe. I know, babe. Keep it up, babe. Keep up with it, babe.
Their worst player on defense. His stats are awful. Now that he's out, you can't suddenly cry about it.
Nobody did, babe. Wrong again.
Yes, his stats do suck, but it's not Rondo's fault. It's what's wrong with the Lakers in general. But those stats are pretty bad. I mean, the Lakers offense just isn't good in Rondo's hands. They outscore opponents by just about 1 point per 100 possessions with Rondo on the floor. That is the worst among Lakers who have spent the entire year on the roster. When he goes to the bench, that number goes up to about 10 points per 100 possessions, the highest total of any full-time Laker.
So what are you saying? Are you basically just helping us make our point? Let me let you.
Line, without Rondo, they have been the number 4 offense in the league. With Rondo, the 22nd. So losing Rondo should actually be a good thing because statistically, he is the worst Laker. Well, this is where stats can be misleading because
I went to school with a couple people that just remind me of him, and yeah. I went to college in Ottawa, Tennessee. Felt like you might have went there too.
Rondo is the only other true point guard besides Alex Caruso. So Rondo runs the team when LeBron James sits, and surprise, surprise, the Lakers aren't very good without LeBron. Bottom line, this isn't a Rondo problem. This is a Laker problem. The team chose to ignore not having a secondary playmaker on their roster. They chose to go with Rajon Rondo, and now they're screwed. Yes, the front office did try to get Darren Collison, but after that failed, what then? They've added Markieff Morris, Dion Waiters, J.R. Smith. What is that? They've known all year their biggest issue was not having another ball handler and someone to run the offense when LeBron sits, and now Rob Pelinka's mistake will ruin their season. At the trade deadline, they chose...
I'm sorry, but I'm just going to come back to this as when the trophy's being held up, I'm coming back to these. The Laker prophet has yet to be wrong. I'm sorry.
Not to trade for a backup point guard. That package would have centered around Kyle Kuzma, but they didn't want to give him up. What? We have no idea what Kuzma is going to look like in the playoffs. Backup point guards on bad teams were available too. I mean, they could have gone really hard for Derrick Rose. You're telling me Jeff Teague wasn't available? They tried to trade for Dennis Schroeder, but weren't willing to pay the price. Why not? Schroeder would be perfect to run the offense when LeBron is rested.
We tried. We tried. We can't get robbed, though. Are you? What do you want us to do? What do you want us to do? Give everything for a point guard? What did you want? We tried multiple different people. We did. You're telling me Jeff Teague? We tried. Derrick Rose? We tried, didn't we? If my memory serves correctly. The conversation did not go very far as OKC wasn't looking to move him without a hefty return. What hefty return do we have to give? We tried. Babe, what do you want us to do?
But no, the Lakers stood pat because LeBron James covers up all their issues. And this isn't a surprise. Any Laker fan out there knows this issue has stared them in the face all year. The team hasn't been good when LeBron James sits. They need someone who can at least be average, keep them afloat when LeBron James has to take...
Okay, all right. So, let's just put things into perspective. We're first seed. So, this problem, clearly there's somebody that keeps us afloat, right? I mean, if not, then how are we first seed in the West? How? You figure that out for me, and then we're going to come back and we're going to circle back and
at least a few minutes off. He is 35 years old. Instead, Rob Pelinka did not act, and this is on him. Actually, you could say this is on LeBron James because he covers up all the issues. I mean, he's so good, it could be a blessing or a curse. In this case, a curse. Too many times this year, the
first seed is a curse. I can't believe my ears.
Bench unit,
I love this curse. Keep it up. Keep cursing. Whoever's
led
cursing.
by Rondo, blew leads, and then LeBron and AD had to come back in and save the...
Oh, now we have AD. I didn't hear his name the whole video. There's nobody else that can carry the team when LeBron is sitting. Ain't nobody on the team that can carry LeBron while he's sitting. Oh, okay. Now we have an AD now. Okay.
Day. And the Lakers' regular season record was so good that, hey, no problem, right? Wrong. The inexperienced Lakers front office just pretended like this was an issue that they could live with. They acted like not having someone to run their offense when LeBron wasn't on the court wasn't a big deal because they won a lot of regular season games.
A lot? The most, babe. You got to get that vocabulary straight, okay?
I'm not a believer in depth winning playoff series, but it will be different in the bubble. There will be a higher rate of injury, and there will be more games played in less time. So yes, depth will be a factor. Speaking of depth, just how...
Wait, why did you say it so... Listen to how he said speaking.
Less time, so yes, depth will be a factor. Speaking of depth, just how much have they lost here? Well, the Lakers lost 45 minutes of depth between Rondo and Avery Bradley. That means it is the Caruso show, baby.
Well, I mean, you got to remember who we replaced them with. I thought you were gonna go somewhere different with the whole what we lost, because we did lose a lot in Avery Bradley. But as far as just minutes are concerned, those minutes are going to other people. We did replace them. It's not like they're just missing, and so now it's negative 45 minutes just floating in space. We replaced them. So that argument is now, we took that right here and it's gone with the wind.
Seriously, Alex Caruso's clothing line is going to sell out by the time this thing's over. As soon as Avery Bradley went down, I knew the Bald Eagle was getting a lot more minutes. I mean, their options are terrible. Of the non-starters, there's Quinn Cook, Dion Waiters, J.R. Smith, Alex Caruso. Caruso is clearly their best defensive option here, but he'll have to play Rondo's role too. And that means this will be a career-defining...
I'm sorry. Rondo's role too. Rondo was a playmaker. What was Caruso? He was always a playmaker too, right? Or what was he? I mean, they did kind of experiment with him, like they would play him at different little spots, whatever, but I mean, he was facilitating. That's for one thing for sure. He was facilitating a lot. So it's not like he's got to step into that role too, and that's now a whole new thing. It's not new to him. He's not new to this. He's true to this. Stop playing with him.
2 months for everyone's favorite balding 26-year-old. Lakers fans have been calling for Caruso to get more minutes all season. Oh, you're going to get it whether you like it or not. They're going to have to depend on Caruso.
Why are you making it seem like it's a bad thing? You're spinning it. Everything you're saying, you're spinning it, babe. I hear you. I hear you.
So in big playoff moments, if he comes through for LeBron James in the playoffs, dude is set for life. He will always be that experienced role player who could be a winner in the playoffs. Those kinds of guys play forever, like Andre Miller back in the day, George Hill, or Rajon Rondo now. But if Caruso cannot handle this role, he will fade away and LeBron won't win that 4th ring. Realistically, the Lakers will probably end up playing LeBron 40-plus minutes per game in the playoffs. And I am so nervous about what that means for a 35-year-old coming off a 4-month break. Even though he plays at a high level, age is catching up to him. I mean, LeBron just had his first major injury last season. Age had a lot to do with that. The Lakers are going to need LeBron to play an insane...
Okay. Says who? Did you say it had a lot to do with it, or what? I mean, yes, that was his first major injury. That's true. He might have just literally just pulled it. Maybe he just did misstep and stepped wrong. But he's actually statistically, I think he's like not at his best, but he's very close to like, this is just great for him right now. Like this year and how he's been doing has been better than some previous years. You know what I mean? So we can argue age, he's declining, but he's really not. And it's like an anomaly because it's weird, but he's thriving. He's thriving.
Amount of minutes, especially now with Rondo out, and the chances of his season ending early go way up. I'm actually starting to feel bad for LeBron.
That's nasty. That's a nasty attitude and a nasty spirit to have. I don't like that. That didn't sit right with me. Woo! I need to know what team you root for so I can curse them, because Laker Prophet isn't feeling this energy.
James here. I mean, if any team is all in for the playoffs, it's the LA Lakers. Now, because the Lakers front office refused to get a secondary playmaker.
We didn't refuse. We tried multiple times. We talked about that already.
LeBron's chances at another title are slim. Beyond AD,
They're not slim, babe. They're very much opposite. But you know that. You know they're not slim. I mean, that's, even if you do root against them, you know that that's a very exaggerated term to use. Slim. Come on.
LeBron, this team is average at best. Now, some of you are going to point to Mario Chalmers putting on social media that he's ready to step up. Chalmers did win 2 championships with LeBron James in
He can't be added to the team. We already know that. We addressed that.
Miami. But besides the fact that he's 34 years old and he tore his Achilles in 2016, this ain't going to happen. The Lakers are not eligible to sign a replacement player for Rondo, so forget.
Nobody is. Nobody's eligible to sign a replacement unless they leave for personal reasons or they catch COVID. So let's not talk about the Lakers just missed out. They refused to do Chalmers. No, we talked about this.
However, there is the wild card of Dion Waiters and J.R. Smith. I know a lot of people are saying that they will play a big role in the playoffs. First off, neither guy is really a playmaker, so they're not going to fill in for Rondo.
That's fine. Guess what? I just got a phone call, but pause. Why are we making it seem like...
Dion Waiters...
Did he just interrupt me? Oh my God. He just interrupted me. This dude is focusing on the playmaking a little too much. I think it is going to be a problem. I said that. We have Caruso that's going to step up. It's only for one round of the playoffs. We're just going to deal with it. But I mean, dude, are you that concerned for us? Thank you for the concern, but oh my gosh, Dion Waiters is a problem. I told y'all that. Laker Prophet is saying it here now so that when it happens, she can call it. She already called it. Dion Waiters is a problem. J.R. Smith can be a problem, negative and positive. We're going to see which one he chooses, you know, on the re-up, but don't play with Dion.
Is a little more than JR, but they're both streaky shooters. Secondly, I don't trust either
Dion low-key carried with the Heat.
of these guys in a big playoff moment.
Really?
Let's recap. Dion Waiters was on the Thunder in 2016.
Okay.
OKC should have lost to the Spurs because of it. He elbows Manu Ginobili here on...
Oh, okay, so we're not doing this. This is literally individual situations overriding a whole career. You don't trust him in a big playoff moment, a clutch moment, anything like that? Really? Really? Because of this one moment here? LeBron has made mistakes, missed game winners in a playoff moment. You don't trust him? You don't... Are we really doing that with the debate? No way. No way. I don't think so. I don't think... You probably didn't mean that. No. Waiters is extremely clutch. Stop playing with him.
On an inbounds pass. Lucky that wasn't called. Then he throws the ball away. Lucky the Spurs couldn't score. J.R. Smith, though, of course, will always be remembered for the dumbest...
Okay, so he's just literally citing individual things. So let's just skip past this because literally has nothing to do. That's like one instance out of their whole career. And you're saying that you're using that to explain why they cannot perform in the playoffs or you don't trust them in the playoffs. That's insane. I won't be a part of that, so I'm skipping.
Year, he played in just 3 games. JR hasn't played in 20 months. I predicted early on that these guys would get...
Those are the hungriest players. Players that have been really wanting a chance. Same with like Jamal Crawford. Those are the hungriest ones. Those are the ones that'll give the most effort. So thank you for that.
Close to 0 minutes between them for the Lakers. Frank Vogel just said in the bubble they will lean mostly on Dion Waiters.
I know he will because I tried to tell y'all already. He's not a chump. I don't care how y'all try to portray him. He's not a chump. He's a problem. Create his own shot problem. Yeah. You can look it up.
And he sounds so thrilled.
But also like the prospects of seeing what Dion Waiters can do. You know, and
I'm thrilled.
We've got 2 really good basketball players that we added late in our season that do different things. You know, losing Rondo puts more of a need on Dion's skill set. So, you know, I look forward to seeing what he can do more as we get into games. But all of those guys will pick up the slack.
Yes, Coach Vogel did sound so excited there because really neither guy is dependable in the playoffs at this point. But we will see what
How do you know
Dion's...
at this point? They haven't been to the playoffs at this point yet. What are you talking about? They haven't played yet. You haven't seen anything. You don't know if they're dependable or not. You're just saying that based on what 2 clips you found of mistakes they made.
still has, apparently, and there is a chance he makes a difference. Waiters is just 28 years old, so technically he's still in his prime. He played over half his minutes last year at point guard for the Miami Heat. He's used to coming off the bench, and he's played more recently. In fact, he actually scored 14 points off the bench against the Clippers in January.
Sorry, y'all, my camera died. Okay, I'm back. But,
January. Still, in the biggest playoff moment, point.
He had to negate that point. He had to bring it up. I brought this up months ago. I reacted to his highlights. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. Reacting to Dion Waiters' highlights from this season. They were incredible. Y'all were trying to make him seem like a chump. They were incredible. Against the Clippers, that's the best defensive team. Played a lot of his minutes at point guard. But he's going to find a way to invalidate that. Still, due to this one clip that I showed, he's clearly not adequate for the playoffs.
It's off the bench against the Clippers in January.
Watch.
Still, in the biggest playoff moments, Dion Waiters isn't good enough to rely on. I think it'll come down
Says who? Says you? Or who? He said that?
to LeBron and more LeBron when it matters most.
We don't have an AD. Forget that we have AD. You know what I mean? Dwight Howard, JaVale, the center position on lock. Forget them. You know what I mean? It's just all LeBron, right? Okay.
Bottom line, the front office totally messed up when they didn't sign or trade for a legit secondary playmaker when they had the chance. They've known this was an issue all along. They'll probably use the Rondo injury as an excuse for when they lose, but this is absolutely Rob Pelinka's fault. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.
All right, AM Hoops. Contrary to popular belief, I like you. Like that was entertaining. That kept me interested the whole video. Usually, like NBA YouTubers and like YouTube videos like that just don't keep me interested. Y'all love them. You eat them up. They like put the highlights on the screen. They just talk. It's like they're really expected to do well. It's like y'all be watching that stuff. I don't know, but he was actually pretty interesting. He was just wrong, you know, and it's just unfortunate that had to be. But entertaining video. I actually like. I might go ahead and just subscribe to him. I might as well because I think he's interesting. Clearly, he's not a Laker fan. I don't know. I wonder what team he goes for or what player. I don't know. But he was just dead wrong. He couldn't have gotten any more wrong than he was. I kind of pointed it out every single turn of the video. You know, I mean, there was not really any salient points made besides the fact that Avery Bradley was missing, but he didn't even really take the time. Like, it would have been a better video if he addressed Avery Bradley, right? He was going on Rondo, which Laker fans were, it happened like this week, right? We're already over it. What is it? Wednesday? We're already over it. You know, but he's attacked that point hard when we're mourning the loss of Avery Bradley. That's serious. That's something that we can blame. That's not a Rondo issue. You know what I mean? So you kind of picked the wrong catalyst to be negative towards the Lakers with. I don't know. It just didn't really work out the way you probably thought it was going to be. But yeah, Laker fans were not distraught by that. Didn't put a dent in us at all. Not even a little bit. Clipper fans, you're gonna have to try again. Celtics fans, you're gonna have to regroup and come back at me with some more facts, and I'm gonna react to that. But this just wasn't it. Anyways, like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below. Who did you agree with? Who did you agree with? Let me know in the comments below. Click this video if you haven't seen it yet, and click here to subscribe to join the Splash Squad. Go ahead and subscribe. I know you want to see more reactions and more responses. Also follow me on my social medias. If you want to get the merch, shop splashsquad.com or go to the IG, the Instagram, shop Splash Squad to see when these come back in restock. That's about it, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.